All right, ladies and gentlemen, another week. We've done it again. Thank you if you're here. Hopefully you make it to the end because I think we got a good show, man. And a lot of stuff winded up happening right before we're working on the run sheet, and a lot of bombs, baseball bombs dropping. Um, and I think it's a good week for us for soccer. We're both
Yeah, for sure.
prospering and striving. We have a lot. College football just happened. Got some more games this weekend that AU will be covering in their second class today.
Yeah, say
Um,
less.
yeah, all in the outfield is going to be going crazy today. I think there's going to be a lot more to talk about. We'll hit Rangers, how bad they still been. Um, some Cowboys, 53-man roster was official today, so we got some cuts. We'll talk about that. There was some trades. Um, Dallas Mavericks, we'll talk about the World Cup, how that's been going, shaping for Luka. I mean, typical Luka stuff. Talk some Josh Green and how they might play each other from what I was reading. And Austin was at the FC Dallas Austin FC game, and he was not rooting for Austin, I think,
No shot.
for
No,
once.
not at all.
So yeah, let's go into it. I'll pass it on to you, bro. Your Spurs early
Yeah,
game.
man.
Did not
Yeah,
watch that. I was trying to
Spurs.
watch the highlights, but
Yeah, it was honestly kind of brutal waking up because I was up out late the night before. But
ugh.
yeah, nice little. It was good that there's been some days and sometimes in the past where I've waken up for the 6 a.m. game or 6:30 game, and it was just like a horrible performance. But luckily,
Just not worth it.
tuna, yeah, not worth it. So luckily, it was a 2-0 win over Brentford. Ange Ball is kind of still being great. Really, I guess the first time that we really saw it falter was today, just before we started recording. But in the Bournemouth game, it was I mean great. It was a goal from Kulusevski, kind of gets him back on the score sheet, which is really nice. He's kind of been missing in action for a while now. When he first came to Spurs, he was really good under Conte, and then kind of since then it's kind of been hit or miss and all that stuff. So it's good to kind of get him back rolling, get him back on the score sheet, and really kind of get his confidence back going. The other goal came from James Madison, which I think has really been an excellent signing for us. He's just kind of really been pulling the strings, and he's kind of finally filling that hole that we have had since Eriksson has left. So it's been really good to kind of see him, and it kind of feels like he's really been settling into the team pretty quickly, which is really nice. Summer signing, and he's already a vice captain too, which kind of says a lot about him as a person, but also just what all the guys on the team really think of him. And I kind of said some stuff last week about Yus Bissouma and how I thought that he's really kind of been working his way into that top conversation or the upper echelon of midfielder in the Premier League. And I think that the game that he had this weekend kind of continued to solidify that. I thought he was outstanding, and I want to say that I saw a stat that it was the furthest distance carried with a ball, basically dribbling, and Basuma was and uh, he was leading it pretty significantly over guys like
My God.
Rodri and Enzo Fernandez and guys like that. So it's good company to be in, and it's just showing that he's really in that really hot form that is kind of what we're looking for. And then Pap Sar is the young midfielder that's kind of rounding out that midfield three for us is continuing to really be a kind of a revelation, and for such a young guy, and it's really good to kind of see him gelling in and seeing the potential that we thought he had is really kind of showing off, which is nice. And then really another thing that I want to talk about was our new goalkeeper, the guy that's replacing Hugo Lloris. I think his name is Guglielmo Vicario, but I just call him Big Vic. He's been kind of balling out. Yeah, so I think he has the highest save percentage out of all keepers in the Premier League right now, and even with the ball at his feet, he's been he was really shaky in the United game, which was a lot of people on Twitter were like, "Oh no, is he kind of a flop? Did Spurs take the cheap option again?" But really since that United game, he's really stepped up. Or not, it wasn't United, it was the Brentford game. Sorry, but in the United game and then the Bournemouth game, he's really been kind of outstanding and all that stuff. So early signs are really promising for Ange and kind of the system that he's been playing. But I had already kind of mentioned it, but really the first time that we saw his system kind of falter was today in the Carabao Cup. They played Brentford or Fulham. Ended up losing on pens, which sucks. But it was kind of, I think they made 9 changes, so there was a pretty heavily rotated squad. So it just kind of shows that Spurs are they have good talent, and their starting lineup is I think really good, and some of the subs that we have are able to be contributors, but still that second group is just it's not it. Davinson Sanchez is just he kind of had a massive mistake that led to the goal for Fulham, which technically was an own goal, but still was pretty much on him. And then he was the one guy that missed a penalty that was pretty poorly taken. So
oh god,
it sucks for him because I'm sure he's a nice cat, but it's just it's not gonna help him to become a fan favorite. And then kind of the last thing I have is that I know I've been talking about Richarlison and is he gonna get going? And he finally scored today, which is good. So who knows? Maybe he can kind of parlay that into better form over the weekend and kind of hope that takes off in the Premier League. But looking forward, I think we got a nice match against. I don't remember who we play this weekend, but we'll see how it goes. So
yeah, no, I saw. Like I said, I was watching a little bit of the highlights of that game. Obviously, Madison's gonna be Madison. Midfield was looking good.
Yeah, that's facts.
Richarlison looked kind of shit. I mean, I saw one highlight where he had a shot in front of goal in the first half, and he just somehow decided to. I don't know how he missed it. Basically, I know there was people in front, but I mean, if I hopefully gets his motivation going or just confidence scoring these goals right here, even if it's FA Cup or just cup matches.
Yeah. So he's gonna. I think he needs it, and I think Ange is kind of saying all the right things with, backing him and saying, it's early days and he's trying to figure out, the system and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. We'll see. I mean, hopefully, if he can kind of go on a run here, maybe in the next 5 games he scores 3 goals, even that, something like that is an improvement, just to kind of give him that confidence over the next, run of fixtures. That'll be really good. But yeah, man, that's kind of what I have on Spurs. I think I don't want to go too long like I have been going, but I think that it's definitely good, and the signs there are promising. So, but yeah, man, West Ham was a good. I think it's kind of leading in.
West Ham.
Pretty briefly, Spurs are the top of the table, and now they're kind of overtaken by your team. Yeah,
that's my team. Yeah.
So
we talked about it briefly. Was I think 2 weeks ago before the Chelsea game, and talking about our runner fixtures and how maybe could have been a possibility that Moyes would be on the hot seat. I didn't think he would be, but it would just be. I mean, after those fixtures, you just don't know what's going to happen, and we just, my God, dude. I mean, I'm still mad that we can't keep a clean sheet. I've yet to keep a clean sheet so far this season. Defense is shaky, obviously. I mean, the Brighton goal came in the last 15, 12 minutes. It did scare me a little bit, if I'm be honest. The goal was caused by, I don't want to blame it on Edson, but he was already cramping. He was tired, and if you see the goal, he did start, yeah. It was okay. So they were running. It was him and Souček, holding, and they had Paqueta as a left mid-ish. But I think they were just rotating everyone. But then Souček ended up getting hurt. The man just goes in, balls to the wall for anything, and he just ran into the keeper, and keeper just took his ass out. So that brought in Benrahma, which led to his assist, so that was good. But I said, Edson, clearly I know fitness was something part when he was talking about when he got there. He knew that he wasn't at the highest level like it should be, and it showed. I was they were asking for it. I think Zuma was like, bro, get this motherfucker off the pitch. He's tired. He can't play. And the goal, if you see it, he commits super easily to a shot outside the box, a fake shot. He just commits hard and he looks tired, takes a shot, and then just goes to 3 or 4 people, which I think that Areola did not deserve to get scored on. He had a massive game for West Ham, definitely one of his best games, I think, and showing why he should be starting over Fabianski, clearly. And for only 8 mil to make it purchase for him, for sure, it was a steal. Yeah, permanent deal for only 8 million for Areola, showing it off. So he had a great game, and Moyes' ball was just, everyone was committed to the counter. And I mean, it's not going to work every time. You're going to have those opportunities, but we just decided to capitalize on every single shot on target we had.
Yeah, because
that's what I love.
Was this the game that I saw that there was 80, almost 85% possession, and you guys were up? I think it was 2 or 3-0. Yeah, that's unbelievable. That's a lot of time behind the ball, which
Yeah, I think it was just
That's so
discipline, bro.
crazy.
Everybody knew what they were supposed to do. Everybody was doing. Zuma had a really good game too. I think. Our Cappy. He was just
Yeah, and
everywhere, just
I think
defending everything.
no, that's definitely scary. I know, like with Spurs, they played a lot of counterattacking ball with like Conte and stuff like that, so it sucks. But I feel like West Ham definitely has the quality to not have to play that. But I mean, if it's working, I mean, you guys are sitting in the top. I think it's top second right now behind
Yeah, probably
City. So I
second
mean,
now because City
if it's
won.
working, what's the point? Yeah, what's the point of changing?
If
So
it ain't broke, don't
it won't work
fix
for
it.
everybody, but
Hmm.
that's it, man. That's
Yeah,
it.
like I said, I maybe just
But
against like obviously you have Brighton at home at their place, and you know how you've been playing against recently against them. Like you've been poorly. If you
yeah,
go back to like the last 10 games, you probably win one or two, I think maybe. And I think they were just like, hey, we're gonna do this, and like I said, counterattack is just scary because if you commit to it, and I mean, you're just not gonna get the opportunities. You just gotta be, you get 3 or 4 opportunities, and you better hope you score at least one or two, and you commit to only conceding one or two.
yeah.
And we decided to score three. Um, James Ward-Prowse gets on the score sheet. He's been a phenomenal signing for us in the midfield.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah,
he's been unbelievable really since he started since he came. And I think that I mean obviously he was always really good for Southampton, but to kind of
hmm
come into a higher quality squad than he's really ever had and to fit in just like that is to show like, he's kind of always had the quality. It's just he needs to be around better players that,
yeah,
can
like a
kind of help
competitive
him
team
showcase that
for sure.
quality.
I feel like he's always been battling relegation,
Exactly.
and that was his 50th goal. So props to him. It was kind of a whack
Wow.
goal, but still counted. Doesn't matter. And then the two counterattack goals were just amazing, man. I think was Bowen the third goal, or was he the second goal? I forgot which one he was.
I don't know.
But I know on the Bowen goal, like Michael Antonio is playing like defense because obviously that's what we're doing. We're playing everyone back there. He picks up the ball, and then he plays that through ball to Benrahma, and Benrahma's waiting for Bowen, and I think it's a Stupinian too that kind of leaves Bowen back there by himself. For like he kind of looks over and sees him, but doesn't follow him and track his runner. Bowen takes a beautiful touch and then just picks it in the bottom corner. And then Michael Antonio's goal just made me laugh every time because I don't know. I'm just not that I'm a hater. It's like, nah, I've never been too big of a fan of
Yeah, how do you
Antonio. I
feel?
think.
How do you feel about him?
Well, right now I'm loving him. Obviously, he's
Yeah,
been pretty good. I
yeah,
think he has 2 goals now. Um, he's just I
yeah.
don't know. I mean, he's just there, and he's the hardworking dude that just runs up on top and like just pushes guys, and just sometimes he can have a touch of an elephant and just go everywhere. But I mean, when he's on, he's on. Obviously, you saw that banger against Chelsea. And then this one,
Yeah,
he just looks so slow. I don't know if you watched the goal. He gets the ball facing the other direction. Body feints one way, goes the other way, and it looks so slow. I don't know how he was able to get through
it's
that.
just like it just somehow works.
Gets through, and he slots it bottom corner. Beautiful finish. So right now, obviously, I'm loving him. And then he's been backing himself up after talking shit to Richarlison, or Richarlison thought he was talking
Yeah, I
shit to
mean,
him.
yeah, it's kind. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of like it's kind of proving him right,
Right, so
which
he's backing it up. He's like, I'm over here
it's like
celebrating goals
yeah,
that
it's like
count, unlike you, bro.
that count. Yeah. The bad
Yeah.
thing is Richarlison hasn't even had an offsides goal this year. I don't think he's just hasn't even put anything anywhere close on frame until today.
Yeah.
So
So
hopefully that's kind of done with.
yeah, and then West Ham officially gets a signing of Kudus, right? Kudus
Yeah, that's
for my
gonna be
Hawks. Yeah, so
unreal.
you're
Like
repping the
I think
jersey. Yeah,
yeah, I think that you guys kind of like it took a while to start spending money, but I think the money that you guys have spent this year has been like
it's been
really
paying
good
off at least
purchases,
so
and I
far.
think that
Yeah,
that's gonna be
I don't know why
something
we
that's
waited
gonna
so long though. It's
yeah.
what kind of
So
pissed me off. I was like, dude, like we're going into the league like with little to no signings. Like, what are we doing here?
yeah,
And then
well yeah, just get him up to Moy's ball and kind of get it going, and I think that I think you guys are gonna be all right this year. I'm curious to see that. Curious to see how you guys do in in Europa this year. And I guess is
that
the
too.
draw
Yeah,
for that is this week, right?
I want to say this week. I know Champions League is this week, so probably Europa then too.
Yeah, it's probably the day after if I'm correct. So no, that I
Yeah,
mean that'd be cool. I think that Euro like English sides kind of always have a pretty good shot at Europa, and I don't know. I mean, especially depending on the group and kind of seeing who some of the people are. I think it'll be pretty interesting to see. So
yeah.
but yeah, man.
And then we got
I guess
11:10 on
kind of moving
Friday.
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay,
Just
okay.
yeah.
That's big
So I'll be
time.
surprised.
I
I
think
want to see how we play against like a team that we know we can obviously are better than, but their very first home game is
yeah.
gonna be a hostile environment. So we'll see if I don't think they'll stick to that counterattack, but we'll see how they look like in games where they're supposed to win.
Yeah, I think that if you guys kind of play well and kind of play on the front foot, I think you guys have a pretty good shot. I know in that
Right.
Chelsea game they I mean defended so much against the ball. Luton did, and I don't know, man. I it's gonna be tough sledding for them to kind of stay up. I know that there are some teams that are pretty good shots at getting relegated, and I don't want to be the one that just assumes that Luton's going to get relegated because of who they are, but they're in for a tough season if they don't
No, for
score
sure.
some goals and
Yeah.
play better ball. But
Yeah.
yeah, man. Moving on to kind of the next big game. We have a couple other games we want to talk about. So the first one is Newcastle Liverpool. It was one of the bigger games of the weekend.
Mhm.
Ended up winning. Or Liverpool ended up winning 2-1. Newcastle went ahead on an Anthony Gordon goal. I think it was like in the 25th minute or something like that.
Mhm.
And then pretty shortly after that, Van Dijk got a straight red. Which, how do you feel
Still
about the red?
ridiculous to me, bro. Dude,
Yeah,
that is piss
I
poor,
think
bro. I'm sorry. That's so bad.
yeah. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So, and I thought that whenever I saw the red come out, I thought it was pretty much wraps for Liverpool. I thought Newcastle were kind of just going to stay up, and they've been playing decent ball this year, and I think that they have a lot of talent too, right? So I thought that it was kind of wraps, but then Darwin Nunez, who everybody was saying like, oh, flop, 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 and comes up clutch, 2 goals. I think he scores in the 81st and like the 93rd minute or something like that. So
Mhm. Yep.
ends up propelling Liverpool to win 2-1. That's got to be a massive, massive result for Liverpool. Not only because I think Newcastle are obviously challenging for European places and
Mhm.
Champions League, but just to show like Liverpool, like hey, like we still got it. Like we have the quality to kind of
Even with
stick in
10
games
men.
even when
Yeah.
we're a man down. Yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, and they were in 10 men for 80 minutes or 60 minutes, something of that
Yeah.
nature, right? So I mean, so much time defending and being a man down and just having that work rate and to kind of be able to come up and have one of your big purchases come up big in a big moment is I think something that's like pretty crazy for them.
Yeah, no, I was
So
talking to my friends
yeah,
about
man.
it. I was like, imagine we were watching the game and imagine because you have to sub someone out. Obviously, you have to put in a defender if you lose a defender. So an
Yeah,
attacking player is going to come out. So you're just waiting patiently. You hear the whistle blow. You look over to the halfway line and you're like, oh, fuck, who's going to get subbed out? Like it better not be me. And it was Luis Diaz, right? That got subbed out. So that's
yeah,
why I
I
was
think
kind of
so.
like, I think even the commentators were like, why is out of all the choices, why Luis Diaz? Like he's got to be the most informed offensive player for Liverpool. So why is he the one coming out?
Yeah,
And sure paid off.
it worked out, man. Yeah, and I
Yeah,
saw that they had their new signing, the guy from Germany. I think he was like a holding mid. He started or he played for sure. Did you get to see
the
how
Asian
he
dude,
did or
right?
anything like that? Yeah, that's the guy.
I think I saw a little bit. I didn't see too much of it, if I'm being honest. I saw the first half, but I didn't see the second half.
Yeah, yeah. I saw I was kind of watching it in and out because I had some friends over, and I think I was watching the Arsenal game at the time instead. But it was just some of the stuff I saw it was pretty neat and tidy. But I mean,
Mm-hmm.
obviously I'm not a Liverpool fan, and I don't have a vested interest in watching it and really paying
Yeah,
attention. So. But yeah, man, and kind of moving on to the next game, Arsenal 2, Fulham 2, which was kind of a surprising draw, especially if you're at Arsenal
yeah.
and you think that you have a shot at challenging for a title. Clearly, I mean, I don't think they do. I've kind of said that I don't think they do.
Well, yeah, I don't think you'll ever say you
And
will as a Spurs fan.
yeah, no shot.
So
And and then to kind of turn it on and in the first minute to see Aaron Ramsdale just give up such a goal like he did, I was kind of all over the place, and I was pretty ecstatic about it. And I don't know if you
yeah, we
saw it, but
were.
he was just caught out of position, and it was pretty
Okay,
bad.
you're back.
And
Yeah,
especially, I
you
mean,
lied a little bit, but I hear you now.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
we were debating about it. Like me and my friends in a group chat, we are like, whose fault is it? Because Saka obviously loses it in the midfield, and you just see the clip of Ramsdale just on the opposite side of the goal, and it's just oh shit.
yeah, not even
And
anywhere close.
yeah, I mean, I think I mean, I didn't see it too clearly, but I think obviously Ramsdale could have done better. Like, yeah, I know Saka loses the ball in the middle and that doesn't happen, but you got to be able, I guess, read that earlier. Like, how would you so far to your line already that quickly? And I feel like there was more than enough time for him to
Yeah.
set up. And I think he was trying to bait the cross, almost like Trayvon Diggs. He was just trying to like bite the route, and he got cooked on it. So
They just got cooked on it. Yeah. So
yeah,
definitely not a good start for Arsenal. They end up coming back and Saka scores a pin, and then Eddie Nketiah scores pretty much right after that to go up 2-1, and which I kind of feel was a long time coming because I think they were kind of on the front foot for most of that game. And then credit to Fulham, who like they just kind of kept fighting, and Palhinha ends up scoring a goal in the 87th minute to equalize, which I thought was a pretty well taken goal, and kind of shows that Fulham are a pretty decent team, and kind of evidenced by the fact that they just beat Spurs today in the cup, and
yeah.
I think they're a good team with a lot of quality in them, and I want to say I think their coach ends up getting sent off in the game because he wasn't managing the game today because he was up in the stands, and I'm pretty sure it was because he got a red or something of that nature. So yeah, so definitely kind of a wild result, and it was pretty much up until the end of the game. It was back and forth, and there was a lot of action going on, which was something that was pretty impressive. But and then the last game of the weekend that we want to talk about is United Forest. Kind of United have big like comeback kid nature there. After the 4th minute, they were down 2-0. So a team in Forest that's like a lot of people were saying could be relegation contenders. And to kind of come back and to win 3-2 again is a pretty impressive result. Kind of shows the resolve that they have. Do you have any takeaways from that game? I didn't have a chance to watch that game because like I said, I was watching the Arsenal game at the same time. So just to kind of see, I was keeping up with the scoreline at the same time because I have some friends that are Forest fans, and so.
Do you have friends that are Forest fans?
Yeah, they're Greek, and their owner is a Greek guy that owns Olympiacos.
Okay, there you go.
Greece.
Okay, that
So
makes
it's
sense.
the same guy. So he claims he's a Spurs fan, but really he's more of a Forest fan than anything.
God. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, yeah, I was like I said, I was bouncing between that game too. But I remember the night before, me and my friends were looking at like the odds for these games, and obviously like Fulham was one of them. Like Fulham was like I think plus 650, and Nottingham I think was like plus like in the thousands, like six. I think it was 1,500 or some crazy number. Obviously at Old Trafford, and we're like, oh, dude, it's easily like, why would we pick against that? Like, it's got to be Arsenal and Man U. And then obviously it was like I woke up and I was like, dude, it's already 2-0 Nottingham. But like knowing Man U, you go back to so long ago, like when I watched more Man U games specifically because of Chicharito, like they were just coming back from 2-0 like nothing. It was nothing for them. Like they would just do it all the time. It was like clockwork. So you can never count them out. Clearly, still in this day of age of the way they play. So I mean, obviously, it's still scary as a Man U fan. Like, do you still think that these guys are the right ones? Are these the ones that are going to change the curse of winning the Premier League and obviously competing in Europe? But I mean, I know Casemiro had a really big stinker of a miss. I don't know if you saw that one.
Yeah, I saw that, and that's kind of like 2 weeks in a row now that he's kind of had some stuff that's kind of been called against him as not playing well or having a big miss like that. Because I know in the Spurs match he was getting cooked. So yeah, man. I mean, maybe just bad
age, man.
form,
Age is getting to him, bro.
Yeah, especially in the Premier League, physical league, a lot of running.
Yeah, that's why I love seeing people that dominate like in other leagues come into the Premier League and just see if. I feel like this is the real test, really. Like nothing like obviously everything you do over there is cool. Like I respect it and everything, but I was like, bring it. I was like, if you want to bring this Premier League, like when I knew Neymar was linked to Man U, I was like, oh yeah, bring him here. I want to see how he does it in this physical aspect.
There was no shot he would succeed, and I think
and he said,
that.
no, I was like, I'm gonna go to Saudi.
He's gonna get the bag anyway, so good for him. But yeah,
I guess that's cool. You got anything else in Prem?
That's pretty much it. No, I mean it's kind of picking up. I think we have 1 or 2 more games left, and then we're on an international break, so we'll be able to kind of have a little bit, take a break off, a little bit of break. Yeah, so
yeah, international break,
I think
bro.
the U.S. plays. I don't mind it. I definitely like right now. It's not going to be super important. Yeah, a lot of the best soccer's gone, and like I think I like watching it whenever there's like important matches going on. But like the U.S. is playing Uzbekistan and Oman, and I think Mexico's playing Australia
Australia
and
at AT&T,
I
I
think
think too.
Uzbekistan. Yeah, so like there's not a lot of like really good games. So I don't know, man. Who knows? But it'll kind of suck because a little bit of like stuff won't be as much to talk about on the soccer side, but it'll come back. I think MLS is
Yeah,
kind of picking up again, which will be nice.
obviously, yeah,
So yeah, man. But that's all I
for the
got.
Messi tournament.
Yeah, I
All
know.
right,
So, but
all right, yeah, bro.
little, you ready for a little Ollie in the outfield? Get it rolling.
Let's do it, bro. Get your gloves, bro. Get your mitts out, bro. It's time to catch some stuff.
Yeah.
Catch up on some stuff. Okay, ready? All right. So, how much would you be willing to pay to go to any MLB stadium and stay the night?
I feel like it's got to be like, I think probably like $1,000 is probably the most I would go. And that's like actually anything like you're getting like unlimited food, unlimited drink. Like I think that's worth it, and it's a pretty good shout. It's cool. I think it's like a
Yeah,
unique thing to do, and if you can like
for
have a lot
sure.
of people there, I think it's worth it.
Yeah. So if you want to do it, Marlins AA team, the Pensacola Wahoos. Man, I love minor league team names, bro. It's awesome. I love it.
They're unbelievable. It's so good, so good.
I
Have you
love
seen
it.
some of their like promotional nights too? Like the
Oh
minor
yeah,
league promotional nights are the best,
yeah.
the
Like there has
best.
that the Houston team has
But
the
anyway,
they have the Whataburger night and like they wear like the honey butter chicken biscuit
yeah.
uniforms. But yeah, so
No, you're good.
Marlins AA team, Pensacola Wahoos, listed their stadium on Airbnb for $5K a night, approximately,
Interesting.
and
And so you
you
get the whole
have
deal.
access. Yeah, you get the whole deal access to. I didn't know if it was food and drink. But you would think. I think you have access to all that stuff, like locker rooms, the field. You can get on the field, stands, and I think if
I
there's
can
a
take
game, you
BP.
can stay there and like, yeah, BP too. Everything. They'll have everything
Oh yeah,
for you.
I mean that's worth it then. I feel like
Yeah, think about how many
Pensacola's
people
a
you can
nice
get in
area
that
too.
joint, bro. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, we can
So
probably
they're
fit.
doing that. So
Where?
that was an interesting
What's the
story that I
sleeping?
read.
What's the sleeping
Bro, you're not gonna
situation?
be
Do they
sleeping,
do
bro.
they
You think
mention it?
you're worried about sleeping?
I mean, yeah. If I'm renting somewhere, I want to sleep. I'm staying overnight for sure, 100%.
Just get your pillows out on the outfield, man. Start
Yeah,
dreaming some
I guess
angels
that's
out
fair.
there, bro.
Nice weather.
Yeah. No, I didn't see it, but
Angels in
I
the
think they
outfield.
have. I mean,
Throwback.
someone in the locker room. Yeah. See, that was a little
Gotta be. Yeah,
little
probably.
hint
Yeah,
out there.
probably gotta have someone
Yeah.
in the locker room.
But no, I didn't read any sleeping situation. But I know, like, I think their locker rooms and everything will be up and stuff like that. I don't know if there's bedding situation. I mean, I don't think they have beds and stuff. But
Yeah,
shit,
that's
if you're paying
interesting.
5K,
Could
I
just be
think
one
they'll
of those
figure
like
it out.
experiences. Yeah, they'll figure it out for
That
sure.
too. Yeah. Okay. Another thing that we've seen players get tossed out. Obviously, coaches sitting multiple times for the Rangers. Bochy go out there with limping knee, talking his shit, kicking dirt. And in this certain case, in what kind of game was it? It wasn't a really weird game. In the Frontier League game between the Tri-City Valley Cats and the New York Boulders, the first base umpire was thrown out by his home plate umpire. So yeah,
How does that work?
tables have turned. So allegedly, it got kind of feisty between the player, man, and player. I guess obviously wins in this case because the umpire. You see the camera of the umpire just walking away from the field. It's pretty funny. But supposedly, what happened is that the opposing team, I forgot what team was which, but was complaining or saying that the other team was cheating, and they all have tablets in their locker or in their bench that they're allowed to have.
Yeah.
And they said, hey, they're cheating. They're tipping pitches or whatever. They're whatever. So the umpire goes, hey, you're gonna have to take that out. And they're like, they start complaining. They're like, no, why am I gonna do that? Like, we're allowed to have these. Like, we're not cheating. Blah blah blah. And I think that's when he throws out the player for not doing it. And then the player comes out, starts talking to the umpire. Umpire, I guess, is like going at it. And I don't know if there's any words specifically said, but you see in the clip. I'm surprised he didn't. If I think it was shocker, if it was a ref that did this, the guy would have fell to the ground and started rolling.
Oh
But
yeah, absolutely.
umpire kind of pokes him or punch. I don't know if he punches him kind of in the stomach, and you see him make contact. Like he kind of and the player it looks like he's about to fall and go down, but then he kind of stops himself. He's like, "Yo, what the fuck? Like, why'd you just hit me?"
Yeah, like what?
And that's when the home umpire just goes, "All right, you got to go," and just tossed him. Went home.
Get
You're
out
of here. Yeah, tossed him, bro. So if you're an ump, you're not safe either, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just saying it stops a little bit of that superiority complex, maybe. I don't know. I mean,
Right, you would hope so. Put them in their
I could
place, bro. They think they got too much authority,
yeah.
bro. Fuck.
Maybe we need to kick Angel Hernandez out of there. How about that? Can we do that?
Oh, please. I would pay so much money to see that, bro. So much money. I'll pay $5K Airbnb just to have him behind home plate
just
and
to
have him
have
thrown
just
out.
and throw him out. Get out of here.
Okay. And then the bigger news that I wanted to talk about, obviously, right before in the process of writing all this stuff,
Yeah.
the Angels release multiple people that are going on to waivers. Key players, or not key players, but just big names like how they traded for Lucas Giolito, Reynaldo Lopez, former Ranger reliever Matt Moore. That I would really, if the Rangers could get him, I would love them to get him, but I don't think they'll be falling down that list. Hunter Renfroe,
Yeah.
and then Randall. How do you say his last name? The guy they just got from
Grichuk? Is it Grichuk?
Yeah, something like that. The guy they just traded for, basically. So they already put him on the waivers. They released him, and it's almost like it's like a fantasy type waiver. So whoever has the worst winning percentage gets first dibs, and they will process on Thursdays, from what I'm understanding. So
that's so crazy, and like the fact that like they're literally just losing that money too, and I think they kind of screwed themselves, right? With like there was so much talk around them trading Ohtani at the deadline, and then to just sit there and like, you know what, like we're just gonna punt the rest of the year. Like Ohtani like has a torn UCL, he's not pitching the rest of the year. He's gonna DH still, but like at this point, like might as well have him get surgery because like they're clearly showing that they're not willing to do what it takes to win, and they're not a winning organization right now. So they could have got a king's ransom for Shohei at the deadline, and now they just look like fools. And I don't see any world that Ohtani's resigning.
No, for sure. There's no way. All the guys that they said they were going big for, that they were a winning team for, just threw them out. They're gonna say, okay, yeah, you guys are.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for a salary dump.
And then same thing with like just thinking of like shutting people down. Like Mike Trout was on the IL, quote unquote, 10 days. It was way more than 10 days, and then comes back and then goes right back to the IL. So that's Mike Trout's situation, and I'm saying the same thing. I was like, dude, if you have Ohtani hurt, just shut him down. But I'm like, I think they can't really afford to do that because who are you going to go watch now if you're the Angels, if you're an Angel fan?
Nobody. Not a soul.
Who are you going to go watch?
Their draft pick that is starting. How about that? That guy, I don't remember his name.
Or was it Noah Chanu or whatever?
Yeah, that guy. Maybe he brings
no shot, bro. I'm paying money to watch them, bro.
I doubt it.
I mean, I still think you should stop watching games and giving money to this franchise. And just like, this is ridiculous, absolutely. Bro. You have two generational talents, and you weren't able to do anything with them. Anything.
Not a soul.
I think it just shows you how hard baseball, or just like how good of a team you need to have. And two familiar like all-stars won't even do the job for you. It's a full team effort. You need all 9 guys, offense, definitely need pitching. We know that as a fact. As a Rangers fan, you need pitching to win games. We'll get to that eventually. But yeah, I mean, I think a little like just tease to my hot take is that Angels are just terrible, bro. We'll talk about it more, but just so everyone can do it. I think the Rangers should definitely look at Matt Moore if they're able to get him. They've obviously had him. He had a really good year, and they let him go in free agency. I was sad about that. He was your best reliever pitcher last season. I don't have his stats looked up right now, but I think he had a pretty good stat line this year too for the Angels.
Yeah, we could clearly use the bullpen arms right now because
anything that we can right now will work, obviously. And then other guys that were big that were put on the waivers. Josh Donaldson for the Yankees finally got released. He's batting like 114, I think, 141 for the Yankees.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with him. All the Yankees fans are like, oh, he's going to go get picked up and bat like 290 and crush it in the postseason. I'm like, that's probably what's going to happen. Knowing the Yankees like this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Some more people released. The Yankees also, the outfielder Harrison Bader that they traded for last year. Pretty damn good outfielder, just wasn't clicking this year and couldn't stay healthy. Maybe Rangers pick him up as another guy. I mean, he can replace Brad Miller, I think, easily on the lineup. Just taking a roster spot, I think, if he's even on there. Carrasco from the Mets that we're playing currently right now. A right-handed pitcher is on the waivers too. Mike Clevenger on the White Sox, a right-handed pitcher that can, shows you kind of some good spurts here and there. He's also on the waiver wire.
Yeah.
So a lot of things happening with waiver stuff, people getting released, and yeah, hopefully, I don't know if the Rangers will be willing to go in and even try.
I hope,
to
honestly,
get one.
I really hope that they try to go after somebody. I mean, I think, obviously, right, foreshadowing to the future, but they're 2-9 in their last 11 games after going on that 8-game win streak. So it's just I feel like you have to do something if you have the opportunity to do something. Kind of going into the waiver wire too. I don't know if you saw this, but Noah Syndergaard was waived by the Guardians, and he had a deleted tweet that was like, "Good thing I didn't like Cleveland anyway," or something of that nature. And then it obviously was deleted, but still, like the fact that you are like going to Twitter before like the news is out is pretty funny. I thought it was a pretty funny story in regards to the people. I love the people that
somehow find those tweets before.
As somebody that has a vested interest in Cleveland, I get it. It.
Yeah, but clearly, I mean, the thing is, I don't know if anyone will drop that much because obviously these people will be postseason eligible, like they're able to play. So obviously, a lot of postseason people are gonna need like those lower end like wild card guys, like maybe like Toronto, the Red Sox, Minnesota. They're all gonna be in front of you. I'm pretty sure just based off winning percentage.
Yeah.
So I think we'll be lucky if we're even able to get one of those players out in the waivers.
Yeah, which I don't think the odds are super likely. I'll be curious to see who they if anybody, if they're able to get. So
yeah,
they're clearly let go for a reason too. Which I mean, I know most of what I saw was because it's a salary dump, but still pretty interesting.
Yeah, just oh god, we'll talk about it more soon. But all right, one last thing before we head back to the dugout and Ollie on the outfield and go to class, obviously because we're running late to AU. So AAL MVP, obviously we all know it's Corey Seager. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, we know it's Shohei Ohtani.
I hope so. I mean, honestly,
I love Corey.
With Shohei being injured, but with Shohei being injured the rest of the year, and if they shut him down, what are the odds that Seager gets the shout?
Dude, he's close to being eligible at like with his at bats and stuff like that, and being able to
appearances away.
Yeah, and like I think there's only 3 guys batting over 300 or something in the AL, and he's batting like 340 something.
He's 330, 345, I think.
Yeah, which is insane to me. He's still raking, and like we'll talk about it again when the Met last night, in the Mets game, he gets walked, and they're like, "We're not messing with you." Obviously, he's getting that treatment at the very bottom string, and just getting walked, obviously. So, all right, and then NL MVP, we all thought it was a runaway with Acuna, and I want to know your thoughts. So I got 2 players right here. You don't know which one's which, and I'm going to list out the most important statistics of here. So player A, average 335. Player B, 312. Player A has 29 homers. Player B has 35 homers. Did I say 39 or 29? 29 homers. Player A has 79 ribbies. Player B has 93 ribbies. Okay. They're also both leadoff hitters. Put that in perspective.
That's crazy. That's crazy for leadoff.
Yeah. OBP for player A, 989. Player B, 1.011. Thousand, bro.
That's pretty high.
SB, stolen bases, 61. 61 to 10.
Yeah, that's unreal.
And WAR, win above replacement, 6.6 for player A, 7.2 for player B. So just by looking at these numbers, who do you think deserves MVP?
I think it's close, but in my opinion, I would go with player B because I'm pretty big in the OPS, and I'm pretty the on base percentage the on base plus slugging, and having that that's almost 2.5 tenths or 2.5 hundredths higher is pretty impressive, and the wins above replacement number being bigger is probably something that I would take into account. But I mean, player A having that higher average and having 51 stolen bases is unbelievable. 51 more stolen bases than player B is unreal. But yeah.
So player A is Acuna, if you couldn't guess it, with the stolen bases, and player B is Mookie Betts. But the bet lines have Mookie Betts as the favorite right now is -135,
Really?
and Acuna is +120. And the audience, everyone's voting on Acuna, taking that money because obviously it's plus money line.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
But
and
no, I
I
mean
think the same
that's
thing with you. I think it's tough with these guys. Obviously, you see averages, but then obviously the homers. I think what stands out to me is the RBIs. Like they're
yeah,
both
that's I
leadoff
mean
hitters,
that's really
like I
significant, a
said,
really
and then
significant
you're up
difference.
by what, 15?
Yeah, basically 15 more RBIs than the other person.
Yeah, 14.
Yeah,
Which is insane. You're almost at 100, and then what people are really looking at, it's like a Statcast thing or whatever, just like the new stuff. It's like WAR. So obviously people really look at that, and you see that Mookie is 7.2 over 6.6 of Acuna.
yeah,
But then you hear Acuna's stuff, and he's one homer away of being the first player to have 30 homers and 60 stolen bases in a season. No one's ever done it.
that's
The
unreal.
closest it's ever been was two
Yes,
players to do 30 homers, 50 stolen bases. That was Barry Bonds and Eric Davis.
I didn't realize that Barry Bonds stole bases like that.
Right? I was like, I
Truthfully,
am kind of like newer to like. I mean, I know Barry Bonds, but like obviously I'm more intrigued and stuff to like baseball with like the most recent years. But I didn't think. I mean, I guess I was used to like Barry Bonds when he hit the homer. Like he's a pretty big man. Like he's a chunky dude.
yeah, he's
Steroid era or
massive.
whatever.
Yeah,
But
roided up,
I
all that stuff.
guess he was stolen bases too. Shit, I don't know. I guess he had it in him maybe earlier in his year. And I mean, if you see like older pictures of
Yeah,
him, he was kind of slim.
before he was like
He was
massive.
built.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um, and again, I mean, like obviously you have people talking about like stolen bases, kind of like a gimme this year, with like you can't throw the ball more than twice to the base to put him back. After that
yeah,
second one, obviously Acuna's probably going to steal, so you want to give him that. Okay, I'm going to throw to you, and after the second
yeah,
one, he's like, okay, I'm going to have this really good lead, and you can't throw it back.
yeah. And
You
I'm gonna
can't.
go.
I'm going to have to run, and obviously he's taking advantage of these bases. So I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, but like, I mean, he wouldn't have done this before. But I mean, but what do you do? I mean, that's the rules, and he's just taking advantage of it,
Yeah,
and
it's
it's
the rules
obviously
now.
working.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think I wouldn't be mad at
Man.
whoever you say should deserve MVP. Like, I'm really intrigued on how they're going to end the season and whoever's going to win it. Like, I think it's a really good race. We thought Acuna was running away with it. I even thought Freddie Freeman get him in the conversation. He's definitely top
Had a
there. I think he's
shot.
plus 900. So he's out there. But
Okay.
he got the most. Talking about Freddie Freeman real quick. He got like, did the most doubles in Dodgers franchise history, I think.
Oh wow,
He has like
I didn't
40
realize that
something
either.
doubles. He has like 40 something doubles, which is kind of like, shit, that's a lot of doubles. At least from what I heard. But yeah, obviously, like, I
Yeah.
mean, Dodgers just shows you how great of a team they have and also how overpowered the Braves are. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
I would have
man.
thought that we had the Rangers themselves had a shot at challenging them, but I'm not thinking about it so much. But also, I will say
Dude.
that I didn't realize that Mookie Betts was raking like that this year because, like, I honestly kind of forgot about Mookie Betts for a while after when he was first traded to the Dodgers. I think he was all right,
Mm-hmm.
and then I kind of just forgot about him. I didn't really hear about him. I've been hearing him like more and more because I've been seeing clips of his podcast and all that stuff pop up on
Oh,
TikTok.
yeah, that too. Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
to see that he's like raking like that is pretty impressive, and I feel like he's kind of like on the older side, right?
Yeah, it has to be, I
Oh,
think.
side.
Yeah. And he bowls too. He's a pretty good bowler. Add that to his MVP
Yeah, he's like
campaign.
he's got a 300.
I also
bowling,
want to throw out
which
there
is
that
crazy.
he's also been playing outfield and infield. Really good. Like he's been
Yeah,
playing
it's
second base,
unbelievable.
shortstop, and he's been
Unbelievable.
in the outfield. So if you want to throw that in there, utility
He's
guy.
30.
I mean,
Yeah, he's 31 or about to be 31. So
I'd say he's on the
yeah,
older
I guess
side,
that is.
right?
He's on the older side. He's not past his prime. He's like in the middle of his prime, the tail end of his prime, I would say.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, man, that's all I got. So, I think we got here right on time for AU. Professor Austin,
right on
take it
time
away.
for class. Yeah, so definitely going to be a shorter class than last week. Talked way too much, so we're going to kind of keep it a little bit shorter. So I got 3 games to hit on this
God.
week. The first game, it's probably the marquee matchup of the weekend. So number 5 LSU versus number 8 Florida State. So this is the second game of their series. They played last year, kind of the same week. which Florida State ended up. I want to say that they ended up losing. I don't remember, but it was a really close game. And so kind of the big storylines around this is I think both of these teams are probably pretty good shouts for them to make the college football playoff. They both have really good quarterbacks. In the LSU has Jaden Daniels, and Florida State has Jordan Travis. So they're both returning quarterbacks that are studs, have played really good ball and played really good ball last year. So kind of the stuff that I'm looking forward to and watching this game. This game is on Sunday. We don't have NFL this week, so this game's on Sunday night. I'm kind of looking forward to see that like LSU and Florida State to kind of see like this is an early game that sets your resume apart, and especially with like you see so many projections having both of these teams. LSU win the SEC, Florida State make a run and win the ACC, and both of them make the college football playoff. I think that we want to see like who sets themselves apart. I think it's going to be a close game. The spread is LSU favored by 2.5. And I think I said it last week, but I would probably lean LSU. I think they have a deeper team. I think they have a better defense than Florida State does. And I think that they're going to be a really good team this year. So if I were you, obviously in the state of Texas, we can't legally bet. So I would take the LSU minus 2.5, but that's just me. Jaden Daniels, probably he was a transfer from Arizona State last year to LSU too. So I think that he could kind of see that same kind of arc as Joe Burrow did when he transferred from Ohio State to LSU, where in that first season he was kind of mediocre, adjusting to the system, adjusting to the SEC, and then having that opportunity to really take off. Jaden Daniels is the leading returning rusher for LSU at quarterback. So dual threat kind of guy. Definitely really interested to see how he performs and all that stuff. So that's the first part. Second point, North Carolina versus South Carolina. Border war. North Carolina is currently ranked 21st in the nation, and they're 2.5-point favorites. So this game is in North Carolina, so they kind of have a little bit more home field advantage, but I think they're playing at the Panther Stadium, if I'm correct. So it's not a true home field advantage.
Okay.
North Carolina, their quarterback, Drake May, is probably the number 2 quarterback prospect in this draft, right behind Caleb Williams. So he was a stud and really kind of broke on the scene. I think he started as a true freshman, but they started the season last year 9-1, ended up losing their last 4 games. Whereas South Carolina, they have Spencer Rattler, quarterback, who was a 5-star. I think he was like one of the best football or quarterback prospects out there a couple years ago. Went to Oklahoma, kind of flamed out there, lost his job to Caleb Williams.
Yeah. See, I knew that. I was like, that's why Spencer Rattler was familiar to me. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So, and then really he kind of like took a little bit to settle in. They got a new head coach in Shane Beamer, which they eventually like kind of turned it on towards the end of the season. They ended up beating number 5 Tennessee to end the year, which granted didn't have their starting quarterback, Hendon Hooker, but the current Tennessee starting quarterback played that game, beat them, which was, I think it was like a 30-point victory, which is massive over a really good Tennessee team that was there last year. And they finished it out with a bowl win against, at the time, was number 8 Clemson. So South Carolina is kind of a team that I think to watch, and truthfully, I would take South Carolina here with the points because I think that they're a better team. I think they have a better defense. They got a new defensive coordinator. I think that Drake May is kind of gonna take a step back this year, and that I don't know. I don't think the ACC is super primed to producing top tier quarterback talent. I know that they had Trevor Lawrence a couple years ago and all that stuff, but I think that Spencer Rattler is kind of showing that all that promise that he had back when he was coming out of high school, and it's definitely something that I think like South Carolina has a really good shot to kind of make some noise in the SEC this year. And I really wouldn't be surprised if maybe I don't think that they're going to go to the SEC championship game, but I think that they have a surprising win over somebody, whether it's a Tennessee, whether it's a Florida, Georgia, like just one random game where they catch somebody sleeping. That is going to be really, really impressive. In the last game, which I kind of have a little bit of vested interest in, which is also kind of eventually going to lead into the hot take. I'm going to get dead into it because I've been in some arguments about it today already. And TCU-Colorado. So obviously TCU is coming off a national championship appearance. They got smoked by Georgia. So what? It is what it is. Georgia was kind of Georgia was kind of clearly the better team, and I would say that Georgia played probably one of their better games of the year. Whereas that's the worst game that I saw TCU play all season. Fine, whatever, right? It happened, 65-7. At the end of the day, you still have a lot of really good team, a lot of really good. Yeah, it's
kind of made me
I don't want to bring
forget.
it up. It's in the past. It's last year.
Oh yeah.
So some of the things I'm looking out for. TCU, I want to see how they rebound. I think that they're a better team than they were last year. They're deeper at every position. Obviously, you're losing 8 draft picks to the NFL. You're losing Max Duggan, your quarterback. You're losing Quentin Johnston, who was a first-round wide receiver. Steve Avila, who was like a early second-round draft pick at guard. So there's a lot of talent that you're missing, but they had their best recruiting class of all time. They had a top 20 transfer class. They got their receiving depth. They have transfers from Alabama, Ole Miss, Arkansas, Minnesota, Oklahoma State. Like they have LSU. They have guys. Like they have talent. So, and then on the defense, they're returning 7 starters on defense from a defense that was pretty mediocre last year, but another year older. Another year in the defensive coordinator Joel Gillespie's system and kind of figuring that out, and also having the defensive coordinator kind of transition and learn the Big 12 and learn how to play big time football. And he reacted and beat a Michigan team, and saw what it was like to play these primetime games against these big time opponents and Georgia and stuff like that. So I want to see how they rebound and kind of see that talent. The other thing that obviously is like the big talking point, this is Fox's big noon kickoff, is Deion Sanders' first game coaching Colorado. When he first got to Colorado, he told all the existing players of Colorado, he said, like, I have luggage. I'm bringing my own luggage, and it's Louis. He has a lot of big name transfers, pretty much cleared out the entire team. I want to say that, some like at least 50 or 60 guys that were on that Colorado team left and transferred out or aren't playing anymore, just being students. So they have pretty much a completely new team, new coaches, a really, really good coaching staff, which I'm not going to deny. They do have a good coaching staff. His son is Shador Sanders is going to be the quarterback, who was the quarterback at Jackson State last year. So he's bringing a good amount of people from that too. So, I'm kind of interested to see, how he adjusts to playing big time college football. You and I are going to be live on the scene at the game.
Oh yeah.
Big time. We're going to be able to see the game and kind of get that firsthand analysis, and we'll be able to report back next week. But
yeah, I'm excited, man. It's be my first college game.
Yeah, go ahead.
I went to a UNT game,
I'm
but
pumped.
That don't count.
It's your first big time college game, so
it's
gonna be pretty sweet. It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a really good atmosphere. It'll be hot, but I think it's gonna be.
It'll be early though. It'll be
probably
early.
One of the
gonna be
most,
up bright and early.
It'll be early. So hopefully it's probably going to be one of the bigger atmospheres of the season or of this year, because a lot of hype obviously surrounding Prime and Colorado, but also a lot of hype surrounding TCU. And I think as a TCU fan, this is probably the most excited that I've seen a lot of people about the team. So leading into the hot take of the week that I have is that I don't think Deion Sanders is that good of a coach. I really don't. So, and I've been listening to podcasts and really doing a lot of this stuff and researching the game. TCU is 20.5 point favorites. But when you see that, I want to say that they have multiple 5 stars on Colorado, whereas TCU, their highest ever recruit is a high 4-star that, Prime brought in all these people. But if you look at his coaching career, he coached at he coached 2 high schools where they were private schools. They were small private schools, didn't play any significant competition, and he had, I want to say it was 12 Division I athletes on his team playing these small high schools that are private schools that aren't playing big time football. So in high school when he was coaching, he always had a significant talent advantage. Obviously was successful, but yeah, significant talent advantage. Moves on eventually to Jackson State, becomes the Jackson State head coach. There, significant talent advantage pretty much every game that he was in. He played one Division One game, or played against one like FBS Division One opponent against University of Louisiana Monroe, lost that game 12-7. Then whenever he got to the Celebration Bowl, which is like the national championship for HBCUs, he lost both games. And that was the first time in the Jackson State year, aside from the Louisiana Monroe game, that his team played against another team that was of equal or comparable talent and lost and was outcoached in both those games. So where I'm saying is that I don't know if he's a good coach is that he's never had to play and had to coach in a game where his team was at a significant talent disadvantage. And that's why, like, there's obviously a lot of hype around him as a coach and as him as like prime time. And, he talks this big game and, he brings in all these flashy recruits and all this stuff. But like, does he know how to coach a big time college football program? In what world has he ever proved it? He hasn't. He's never coached at a big time program where he has equal talent and every single week is going to be a dogfight. I think that, they have the talent. And I mean, this was a 1-11 team last year. They have the talent to win, 5 or 6 games at best. But like, this isn't a team that's going to go and I'm sorry, this isn't a team that's going to compete with the national runner up in TCU. They're not. Whether they got dog walked or anything, I don't think it. And I don't think that it's going to be a 20-point TCU win. I don't. I think it'll be a close enough game, especially in the first half. I think the first half is going to be pretty tight because TCU doesn't know what to expect. I think that's the biggest thing that Colorado has as an advantage for them. There's no film on them. Completely different team. But if you like, I think TCU is going to ultimately win this game and prove, they're going to wear Colorado down. It's going to be 102 out by the end of the game. Colorado's not used to the temperature. TCU's been practicing in this temperature and practicing in even hotter days. And I just think that by the end of the game, like TCU's not going to know or Colorado's not going to be able to compete. And it's just going to be that. So that's my hot take. I don't know if Deion Sanders is a good coach. And Colorado is going to significantly underperform what everybody is saying.
Wow. Okay.
That's
yeah. No. I
Austin
mean,
University
I agree with you.
in class.
In class, drop mic. He's done.
That's good news.
He's not coming back, guys. No. Yeah. I mean,
That's it.
I think same with like. I mean, I'm not opposed to it. Like, I mean, we've seen multiple like coaches try to be players, and I mean, players that have been able to be like, obviously, you could say one of the best to ever do it in their position, stuff like that. And
yeah,
clearly, like some people can be coaches, and like maybe they try to coach the way they learned or how they've been. I know he's like, I mean, I don't want to sound like a pussy or say that he's kind of hard on his players, but like, like I've seen clips of him like, oh, like, what socks are you wearing? Why are you wearing those socks? Like, get the fuck out of my gym or some shit like that. And I'm just like,
yeah.
I guess I know you're trying to get the environment and everything set, like the culture of the team, but I don't think it works like that anymore nowadays, to be honest. And I'm not saying like you gotta sweet like code it and stuff like that, but like there's keys of winning stuff like that. And we've seen how coaches can do it. And I just don't think that's the way it's going to work.
Yeah, and I think that another big thing that like you kind of see this with like high performing athletes and high performing people in general is that they don't know, like some people are just born great. They're just born with this natural God-given talent and this natural like God-given ability. And I think Prime is one of those people. And so like whenever he runs into somebody like maybe doesn't have that God-given talent and God-given ability, he may know the game really well and he knows the X's and O's, but if he doesn't know how to communicate that to somebody to like perform and do what he needs them to do as a player and as like from a coach's standpoint needs to do what to do, I don't know if he has that ability, and he hasn't shown that without a significant talent advantage. He doesn't, you know what I mean? Like he just hasn't shown that. And obviously, like I'm more than willing to eat crow eventually by the end of the season. I don't want to do it this weekend, and I don't want this to be next week's jinx of the week. But like still, like I don't know, man. I think he has a lot to show from a head coach, especially as a head coach in big time Division I athletics.
Yeah, no, I think it's gonna be a really big test for him, and it's gonna be exciting to watch.
Absolutely.
And obviously everyone's gonna be tuning in, and they're gonna have all these people and all this donation money for Colorado and all this stuff. And like you said, you'd think you'd give him 4 or 5 wins, and it made me like look up what their over/under total wins were. And what do you think their over under
It's
is?
probably 4.5. I think it's right about 4.5.
It's 3.5 in this article. Fox
Yeah,
Sports.
I mean,
Three and a
like I
half
said, they were
wins.
they were a, they were a 1-11 team this year,
Yeah,
last
I
year.
see that. They won one
I
game
mean,
last
like,
year.
yeah, and the bad thing about it is you're not really able to, like, you can't project them. I mean, they have just such a significant roster turnover and a completely different coaching staff, completely
Yeah.
different strength staff, like all this stuff. And so I don't know. I mean, I want to say it was in the Saints and Broncos like preseason game. Like Aaron Andrews was talking about the game, and she's like, Prime wanted me to mention that everybody's gonna be rocking up in sunglasses, and we're gonna have brand new white uniforms with a ridiculous amount of gold that you've never seen before. Like just stuff like that makes me like, all right, like I get it. Like you're a hype machine, and that's what he's been capitalizing on ever since he's been a coach. And he's really he's a great recruiter because he has that ability to hype everything up. But I'm waiting for him to show as a coach, and can you take all this talent? Can you compete against equal talent that needs to be developed? Because if high school players that were 5 stars were able to go directly to the NFL, that would be happening. But obviously in college, like you see so many 5 stars flame out because you need to be developed. You need to like be turning from like a child, an 18-year-old kid to a 23-year-old like adult man. And like I understand that he has that capability to do so, and he's did it himself, but like can he inflict that, and can he show that to other people? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I guess we'll have
So
to
yeah,
time will tell for that.
time will tell. Time will tell.
So, all right. So my hot take of the week. Um, it's gonna be pretty sweet and short. Might not even be too crazy of a hot take going into today, but the Angels franchise is worse than the Oakland A's franchise. I think.
Really?
Yeah, Angels are more poverty than the Oakland A's. Yeah,
I think that makes sense. I
when you
I
waste
think it
two
makes
talents
sense, like
like
thinking
that,
about
and
it,
like
like the
if you
waste of
put
talent.
everything,
Yeah.
yeah, the waste of talent, and then you could even say all the guys that fucking Oakland has traded, bro. Sean Murphy, Matt Olson, Matt Chapman, um, Marcus Simeon, Jonah Heim. I could go on, bro. And I still think the Angels
Yeah.
are more poverty than those guys. It's sad. And
Yeah,
I think because
that's tough.
Oakland knows that they're poverty. Angel in general don't want to be poverty, but damn well are poverty. So
They're not doing anything, and at least the A's have been like drafting well and drafting, having guys that are currently showing
they're
that their
producing some
talent
good guys, right?
evaluation was
Yeah,
correct.
they do better somewhere else, but it's
Yeah.
okay.
So
But at least they know that they're
man,
going to be sold and going to Vegas soon, so maybe that'll change it for them. So yeah, that's my hot take, bro.
well, cool. Yeah, and then kind of looping back in the last segment, Jinx of the week. Did we jinx anything really last week?
I was gonna say you talked about who was the Brighton midfielder.
Oh yes, I did. Okay, yeah.
I was like, if you can count that one, you
Oh
can.
God. And CISO or something like that.
Yeah,
That 19-year-old Brighton midfielder. I think literally like the day after we recorded, I was like bigging him up on like, oh, he's a great talent. He's been
yeah, hyping
performing
him
well.
up.
And then the day after we recorded, he like is significantly hurt for an extended period of time. So, and you know what? I did was like I was bigging up Brighton in general and a lot of their players, and just for them to get cooked by West Ham, I think that's
Yeah, you make it seem like it's a bad
whatever,
thing, bro.
bro.
Like it should be a pleasure for them to be cooked by us. Like what?
Yeah, man.
Gosh,
I
bro.
don't know. I guess so. Not a big one this week, but hopefully, brother, I may not show up next week if TCU loses.
I was gonna say, so
I
do
don't
you
know if I
think
can
they
face the music.
cover the 20 and a half? 20 and a half?
I personally wouldn't bet it. I think it's a
That's
big
a big
spread.
of
I
a
think
margin,
Colorado's a
bro. My
massive unknown.
God.
If let's say like the first half spread was like TCU was favored by 7, I would probably take Colorado with the points. Really, if it was Colorado plus like 10.5, I'd probably hammer that first half for sure. because I think that the first half TCU's gonna they're not gonna really know, they have a game plan, and they're not gonna know what are we gonna see, what formations are we gonna see, who's gonna be playing for them. They're not gonna know. They'll be able to make those adjustments at halftime and kind of grow into the game. And I think it's gonna take a little bit, but I think I would probably say that they eventually do cover. But personally, I wouldn't bet that. I would just I have a pretty strict stance of not betting on teams that I actively support, because I think it's a massive jinx. But yeah,
at least man.
That's how I see it. Yeah, that's how I see it. But yeah, man. That's kind of it for the segments. Want to get in a little bit of Rangers baseball?
Yeah, let's do it.
Not, right?
I mean, I don't want to, but we'll keep it short and sweet. We still suck. Rangers go 2-9. They're currently playing right now. It did get worse. You couldn't think it'd get worse, and it get worse. Let's quick check. This is being recorded on Tuesday, the second game against the Mets, and my app tells me that we are 0-0. Okay. I guess good pitching duel. Heaney and
it's only a matter of time.
Right? It looks like we're getting the good Heaney.
Yeah.
And then I think Quintana for the Mets. Yeah, Quintana for the Mets.
Did you see that the Mets gave DeGrom? Yeah, for Heaney, right? That's pretty impressive. Did you see that the Mets gave DeGrom a welcome back kind of thing? Like a tribute video, basically. Sure.
I know. I saw a tweet where Scherzer got one.
They gave one of them. It was Okay,
I think it was Scherzer.
It must have been Scherzer.
And he was getting booed.
Yeah, they gave. Yeah.
That's crazy to me. He played with you for what?
It was a pretty significant time.
The Mets, really? He was there for a while? Oh, yeah, you're right.
So.
You're right. Yeah.
Because,
right? Because he was there for a while and then he went back. Did he have 2 stints with the Mets?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was Nationals and then he went to the Dodgers. Oh, okay. Mets. So he was only with the Mets. He was only with the Mets for a season and a half.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought. So, I guess that's.
Was it DeGrom? Was it DeGrom then? Because
DeGrom was definitely there for a long time.
DeGrom was there for a while, right?
Yeah, I think that was. I want to say he was there the whole time.
Yeah, so I don't know. The bullpen's bad. The bats are bad. There's really not. It's pretty gloom and doom right now for Rangers fan.
It sucks because if
they lost the lead, they lost the division lead.
You lost the division lead to the hot Mariners, and they're playing Oakland right now, so that's not fun.
I think we have a big 4-game series in the season. I think we have 2 series against the Mariners to end the season. So
our last 10 games, it goes Mariners, Houston, Mariners.
Okay, so we got a shot. We got a shot to win the division. We just gotta get hot. We gotta get hot again. We gotta get hot again. You gotta be optimistic. Stop being pessimistic.
No, I've told you. I've been down here with the Rangers this whole time. Especially now, I'm even more down here. So, yeah. My hot take isn't so hot, I guess. It was just an obvious take. So I guess I have to find a new one. I'll give y'all 2 next week. I was kind of
hoping that you were I was hoping that you would reverse jinx it, but we can't even jinx something correctly. So maybe we jinx the jinx.
We are terrible. But yeah, you see, Leclerc, they interviewed him after the game yesterday because he ended up closing out the game. And they said, "Hey, did you know you were going to close the game out?" He said, "Nah, I did not know I was the closer today. Just kind of threw me up there and said, hey, you're up in the 9th,' because Chapman had pitched twice. Will Smith had pitched. The bullpen was fucked from Sunday.
We probably don't want Will Smith pitching right now anyway.
Exactly. And Leclerc has shown really good spurts. And then we get about Jonathan Hernandez real quick. Jonathan gets called up because he had a pretty good month of August in AAA. And then he decides and walk. I think he had 3 walks? 3 walks, and he walks in the. Yeah, he walks in the bases loaded for them to walk it off on Sunday. And if you see the game, he's praying to the heavens, like Bob Costas said. He comes out after he just walked it off. He literally walked it off for Minnesota, and he goes praying it up to the heavens for some past relative. If you ever heard that Bob Costas message or that audio, is so funny.
Yeah, and then he got optioned down the next day.
The next day, we got Spencer. Is it Otto?
Who was it?
I think we got Otto. Glenn Otto.
Yeah, Glenn Otto.
And I think it was more so of, you suck, and also because we desperately needed a bullpen arm. Because you saw Martin Perez come out yesterday for 2 innings in a role that that you want to hold it. It wasn't just we're up by a lot or we're losing by a lot, but no, we need you to keep it
Yeah.
here for at least 2 innings. And he did a
Yeah.
damn good job. And
Yeah.
Leclerc comes in, and I think he did pretty well and closed it out. So
No, that's big time.
maybe
We
it
need that.
started something new.
Yeah, I mean, if we can win, I don't know. I mean, if we could win this series right here against the Mets, and then maybe parlay that
You got
into a good
Minnesota
showing
again.
against the Twins.
Yeah, you got Minnesota
I mean,
again. That
if
just
you can do that,
fucking
and
cooked you.
I think you need a little bit of confidence going into the Astros series, because right now the last thing you can lose is lose that series. So
Yeah, I say take advantage of these
we'll be there.
games. Yeah, we will Monday. Oh, yeah, that'll be nice, bro. It's going to be nice. It's going to be Labor Day game, and I think it's
Yeah.
sold out. So everyone and their mama's going to be there.
Yeah, it'll be a good time.
We're going to have a blast. Hopefully we win. That'd be fun. But I was saying, hopefully
Yeah,
you win those
for sure.
games right now with the Mets and the Twins, because you try to get a little bit of a gap between the Astros, because it looks like they're trying to get hot. I don't know if you've been keeping up with their scores lately, but I think their last maybe 4 or 5 games, they've hit at least 13 runs or some shit like that, at least double digits.
Oh, wow.
They have been playing Detroit, give benefit of the doubt, but still, that offense is scary. They're trying to get healthy. I think Michael Brantley's getting back here soon, too. Altuve just hit for the cycle. So it looks like everyone's trying to click. So this is bad. This is very bad.
Yeah, not good news. Not good news. I don't know.
Yeah.
So we talked about it a while ago, but we want to keep that 2 seed behind. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Baltimore. I think Baltimore's the first seed.
The Orioles. Yeah, the Orioles.
Yeah. Even if we get the wild card, we probably play Minnesota. But it looks like Minnesota has been cooking you. They have some rookies like Royce Lewis that, by the way, hit back-to-back grand slams on back-to-back nights. One against us, and the next, I think yesterday he hit a grand slam too. So that's a rookie doing pretty good, but has struggled to stay healthy.
Yeah, and they have Correa still and all that stuff too, right?
Yeah, Correa's been having a pretty good, I think, on-base streak, but he hasn't been obviously the Correa that we've seen.
That we know.
The Astros. Yeah.
Yeah. And then really the last big news that we got from the Rangers is Evan Carter, on his 21st birthday, was promoted to AAA.
Yes,
so
sir.
One step closer for him. Hopefully he rakes and does well, and opening day starter at one of the outfield positions next year would be a pretty big sight for the Rangers.
Yeah. And real quick, talking about people getting called up, and then we'll transition to Cowboys and their 53-man roster. I don't know if you saw Paul Skeens. Obviously, he got called up to AA in his bag in Levidoon, and he just his first start was absolutely terrible. I don't think he got out the first inning.
Oh, see, that's good news.
He got smoked.
Like that, good. He needs to be drawn down. That's good news.
I think he's at a 53 ERA or some shit like that.
Ooh, that's tough. Jack Leiter numbers.
Jack Leiter numbers that he did come back and pitch after a month off, and he didn't look too bad. Yeah. Watch him call Jack Leiter up as like a 6th, 7th, 8th inning guy, and just be like, "Hey, bro, I know this is tough. Let's throw some fastballs." No, there's no way. Right? No, I'm sorry, but we might be at the point where we're like, "Holy shit!" You look at your bullpen, and maybe Jack Leiter's going to be the guy, or maybe Matt Moore.
Think we can get Cole Reagan's back? Can we get Cole Reagan's back?
Cole Reagan's has been cooking. Everyone has been loving Cole Reagan's, bro, in Kansas City. Everyone has been loving. I need to see what he's pitching today. Let me tell you his stat line.
Good for him.
Yeah, if we can do this real quick, if I find the game. No, it's bottom of the second, 0 outs, but who cares? Okay. But yeah, let's go Cowboys. A lot of stuff happened with the Cowboys.
Yeah, we were golfing. Big news came out Friday.
Yeah, and I was like, hey, we just fucking traded for Trey Lance for a 4th rounder.
Yeah, 4th round pick.
Immediate thoughts, I was like, this is good. I was like, a 4th round for a 1st round pick, and maybe we can do something about it. Obviously, he's not going to be threatening Dak, and I think everyone's obviously
everybody.
Cowboy homers are like, oh my god, bro, Trey Lance is going to start over Dak Prescott because Dak Prescott doesn't know how to play. I'm like, okay, you're stupid.
Unbelievable. Yeah, it's stupid.
Clearly, haven't seen Trey Lance.
He's been pissed poor.
But yeah,
I think it's a good
Austin,
move.
Let me ask you a question. So how would you think if I told you, hey, bro, you're getting replaced like tomorrow, like as my co-host? But I'm not telling you. Yeah. Like I'm just, or like I already have him set up, and like next week I'm like, hey, bro, we're not doing this anymore.
Okay, but I think it's a different situation too, because I think Dak is pretty firmly entrenched in that starting role, and I think Cooper Rush is pretty firmly entrenched in that second string role, and Cooper Rush has been shown that he's a quality backup, and that can kind of win, like keep the Cowboys afloat and help them win games. Mm-hmm. I think that this is a pretty and I understand Dak wasn't informed on this, but I think that we're like it's kind of a risk, and it's a super low risk because I think that Trey Lance, like 4th-round pick, he's a first-round talent. I think the Cowboys had a second-round grade on them, so let's
Yeah.
just call it a second-round talent, right? Like, I think that this is somebody that like, oh, hey, maybe we kick the tires on, and if we can kind of get him for an extension for let's just say another 3 years, 4 years, and he kind of takes that role of Cooper Rush next year, and then maybe in 3 years or whatever, if Dak's declining, we could maybe really talk about Trey Lance, this guy is finally ready and could be the next big time quarterback, but this isn't for another 5 years or so.
Yeah,
So
it's a long term project.
Yeah, and I think it's worth a shout, and I think it's good. So, and yeah, I mean, I think you kind of made a pretty good note, and he'll be a pretty good scout quarterback for the Niners whenever we play them. So, I think that's pretty interesting. So, I don't think it's anything really worth paying attention to. I think it's just if he ever gets in, or I'm interested to see if he ever takes that second string job from Cooper Rush. Will really kind of be what I'm interested in.
Yeah, I think like you said, Cooper Rush has solidified it. We've seen him do it last year. He won you a handful of games. What was it, 4 or 5 games for you? And obviously, I just think
4.
Was it 4 games? 4. He's just the guy that does the job for you, not doing too much. He's just your typical guy. Will make the throws that he needs to, and I'd be willing to hopefully maybe like see if maybe you throw him in some plays, get him in like some like walkout formation, just having him run the ball, option plays, goal line, gut stuff. Like, because I don't want to say you want to throw him out there and like, hey, if he gets hurt, he gets hurt. Because obviously they're scared to run with Dak. We've seen it, which I think he should be able to run. He's a big dude. He did it at Mississippi State, and I think you should just let him loose. But I get it. It's your guy. You're paying for him, and you don't want him to get hurt again. And it looks like he's made of glass as of right now. So I don't see why not. Why not throw Lance out there? He's a mobile guy, and maybe we get some offenses thinking about it. And also just use him as a practice player. He's probably going to be just like a scout quarterback. Whenever we play the Eagles, he's just going to imitate Hurts, and hopefully he does a good job about it and helps us succeed in practice.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's a good low risk, high reward kind of gamble, which it's for us. I know we talked about it a little bit last week, but we don't really see Jerry Jones make like splashes like this. And I don't even want to say it's a splash, but I think it's a good trade and a good decision that by Jerry and Stephen Jones.
Yeah, and I think we should clip that because I don't think I'll ever say that about Stephen and Jerry Jones. So no, they did pretty well. Like I said, it wasn't too much. Like, and I don't know if you saw like our few like 4th rounders that we picked. I think Dalton Schultz. I don't know what was another big name that we had.
Dak was one of them.
Oh, obviously Dak. Yeah.
Jake Ferguson was another one, the tight end, who's now our starting tight end. So I mean, we've had some good picks in the 4th, and was Overshown?
Tony Pollard.
Nah, Overshown was
Tony Pollard was the 4th round pick.
Exactly. Yeah. Add him up.
Tyler Baidaz, Jake Ferguson, Dorrance Armstrong. But yeah, I mean, just don't know.
So we've been pretty successful in that 4th round.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So, yeah, and to move it along, today we finally got the 53-man cuts. Some surprises. What did you see? Do you have any surprises that you were kind of shocked by that we ended up letting go?
Obviously, yeah, I know you wrote down Malik Davis, so that was a big one. I think the running back that we kept, what was his name? The other one that we kept, not Deuce, obviously. Rico Dowdle. I think he really impressed people in the last preseason game, taking most reps without Deuce Vaughn.
Yeah. And then we also kept Hunter Lukey, I think is how you say it. He's like a kind of like a running back, like fullback kind of mix, like
the
a white
big dude,
guy that can play. Yeah, so that'll be kind of good. Yeah, I think he performed pretty well in that last game also. So definitely interesting to see. Yeah, I was pretty shocked to see that Malik Davis was cut because I think he was RB2 coming into camp. So we'll see. It shows that Deuce Vaughn can probably contribute, and big shout out to Rico Dowdle for winning that position battle.
Also, another guy that got cut. I guess I think I knew that they were kind of giving up on him, but it was Jabril Cox, LSU guy.
Yeah, I was pretty shocked
about
that
linebacker.
too.
We're pretty, really, our depth is worrisome. Like you right here, like it's kind of tight. I think we have 3 linebackers.
We have 3 linebackers. We have Van Der Esch, and that's like all I can think of off the top of my head. And
Man,
I don't know who
did
else
they
we got,
list?
but I
I
know
mean, did they
like
list Micah as a linebacker?
yeah. So and like I know that we have like Dan Quinn really doesn't play with like linebackers pretty often. I mean, we'll probably play more often than not with say like a 4-2-5 or a 4-1-6. So we'll have like 5 or 6 DBs out there. So definitely will be kind of interesting just to see how it lines up. And I mean, I think this is his third or fourth season that Dan Quinn has been here. I mean, he hasn't ever really given us a reason to doubt him. So I mean, if they think that they have the talent and the depth to do so, I think they're going to be okay. Because I mean, Dan Quinn has kind of shown over the past 3 seasons that he's one of the best defensive coordinators
Yeah,
in the league,
just put your
if
faith in
not the
him, bro. Just
best, personally.
let him take over, and
Yeah,
just he's
let
shown
him
us that
cook.
the
Let him
guys that he
cook.
wants. Let him cook, and he's cooking, bro. He's cooking it up on that booth up there by himself with all those other guys.
Yeah, facts.
And another surprise I think is like I guess that we kept all the wide receivers that we thought were kind of on the fringe with
Yeah,
I mean obviously Tolbert I think solidified it, but then like I think people were like, are they going to take
Turpin.
Turpin, or are you gonna keep Deuce Vaughn too? Like they both kind of give you the same like not production, but just same
Same kind of
value,
skill set.
yeah, skill set. So I
Yep.
mean I guess they said you know what, let's just keep all of them, and so I guess that was a little bit of a surprise to me too.
Yeah. Another thing that was pretty promising to see was that Jordan Lewis was activated from the PUP list, physically
The pup,
unable to
yeah.
perform. So definitely good for the secondary to see that he's back. And it kind of leads us into another cornerback roster that we have. Kelvin Joseph was traded for
Thank God.
Noah
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Noah Igbinogen.
I'll give you
that's
that
my
one.
guess at it.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
will.
I don't know. So he was a cornerback. They traded him to Miami, and Noah, the cornerback, came from Miami. So it was, I guess, whatever. I mean, I know that you aren't super fond of Kelvin Joseph. You want to move to the Mavs?
Yeah, just some
Unless you have
Mavs,
anything else
man.
on the Cowboys.
I think
Yeah.
that's about it. Yeah. Dallas Mavericks. Not too much. I mean, obviously, we talked about it. How McGee was it last week that we talked about it, where he was going to get stretched or he was going to get
Yeah.
waived and stretched. Blah blah
Wave
blah.
and stretch.
Yeah, officially he was. They put in the for him to get released. So about time. Don't like McGee. It's absolutely terrible, and I know that
Yeah, it was a
I
bum.
think now. I think Sacramento was looking into him. So I don't know if we can just
Okay, cool.
swap centers real quick since we got
Just
Rashawn
swap
Holmes and
them.
stuff like that.
Yeah, swap them real quick.
Yeah, but technically, I guess what we did. The Mavs updates on the FIBA World Cup, man. I mean, obviously Luka just being fucking Luka. I don't know if you saw that clip of him making those
Yeah, I
two
think he's been.
Venezuelan basketball players. Was it Venezuela he was playing?
I think I don't.
The Venezuelan
I
basketball
know that
players
he's just
running
been
into
making
each
people
other.
look stupid.
Yeah, man, he's doing it,
And
bro.
I
I
know
mean, this
that
is
like
typical stuff.
FIBA has like some. Basically, it's like a game score thing where it's some analytical stat that shows like it's like a player score for each game, and Luca is like 20 points clear of second place, and it just shows that like he's just been playing on another level, and whenever he plays for Slovenia, he loves it. So I don't know. Hopefully, he can kind of carry that form. Hopefully, he stays healthy. Hopefully, he carries that form over into the season. Because healthy Luca, a slim Luca, competitive Luca is a good Luca. So
Yeah, I mean, we've always
maybe
seen
this
it.
is
Like
his
he
year.
always
This
starts
is the
off.
year.
Oh God, talk about we'll talk that at the end. Oh, what I have here, but Josh Green, Australia too. Uh, he was kind of playing kind of subpar the first two games, but he kind of
Yeah.
brought up a little bit to Josh Green standards against I think it was China, Japan. I don't know. Somewhere he's probably gonna get shipped off with Dwight Powell, so he wanted
Oh,
to
don't
play
say
good.
that. Don't say
15
that.
points, 3 rebounds, but what really caught my eye was the 4 steals. We know that Josh
Yeah.
Green's that type of player that grinds on defense. That's gonna be running up and down the court. Something that Lucas should take pointers of. And so the 4 steals was good, and that was in just 21 minutes because I think it was a blowout. So it was comfortable for them. He was 5 for 7 from the field, 2 for 4 for 3-pointers. I think that's massive to see his 3-pointers. I mean, 50. I'll take 2 out of 4 any day, to be honest. I know he jumped significantly last year. His 3-point shooting was really nice. I don't know. The year before that,
Yeah.
I would see him at an open 3 that Luka would give him, and I'd be like, "Please don't shoot the ball." And we saw him lose his confidence, and The playoffs, we saw him when he got to the Western Conference Finals. He just couldn't do it. He was like, "Nah, like I'm gonna pass up on these shots," because he knows he just had no confidence. He showed some spurts last year again, where he was hitting some corner threes, some open threes, so that looked nice. But then towards the end, just went to shit. And hopefully, it's looking good again. I think he's been practicing with some, I forgot who it was, but some like big name players. So that thing that'll help
that's
him
good
off.
news.
Yeah. And
Sweet,
then
man.
just one more
Yeah.
thing. So
I will say, whenever I think it's go yeah, I think I
No, you
saw
go,
an
you go.
interview with him, and I was shocked. I was shocked to hear that he doesn't have an Australian accent.
Oh yeah, you were
swore he did.
mad. The Aussie.
I
He was
would.
got the Aussie.
I was like, I was completely shocked that he just sounds like a regular American guy. So
I mean, shit. He went to
more you know, right?
what? He went to
Arizona.
Arizona. Yeah. So they don't know Aussie,
Yeah.
dude, bro. He from the A. He from Arizona.
He's from the A.
Yeah, but talk about his contract. I know he had talked about it, like he wants to get signed here. What are your thoughts? Do you think we should probably sign him soon rather than later?
Yeah,
Hopefully he doesn't make that jump
he's a
like
good
Jalen
depth
Brunson.
piece. Yeah, I think he's a good depth piece. I mean, if we can get him for, let's say 4 years, 60 million, I think is probably the highest I would go for him. Probably ideal would be like 4 for 48, kind of similar to like a Maxey contract. Something in the like 48 to $50 million range over 5 years or 4 years, I think is a great value. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I think he has a lot of promises. Like, you just said 4 steals. I think he has that like defensive presence that he could have, and kind of be a 3-and-D guy. So yeah, man, I don't know. I think that's kind of what I'm seeing, but I think anything over 60 is kind of a pretty significant overpay that I don't think I
Oh
would
no,
want
for
them to
sure.
do.
Which I
So
hope that it wouldn't do.
yeah,
And then to knock it off, and then we'll go back to FC Dallas. So the ESPN released their predictions for the West. Do you want to?
okay.
I'll give you a shot and see how you do for all. They did the top 10 teams, so do you want to predict all 10
Okay.
starting from 1 through 10?
Yeah. Okay,
Who you
so
got
I
at
think one, probably the Nuggets. I don't think they really lost anybody.
Okay. Yep. Nuggets. Correct.
Okay. 2. Memphis, maybe,
No.
or either Memphis or Golden State.
Nope.
No, I don't know.
Phoenix.
I don't
Phoenix
know.
Suns.
I don't know.
Phoenix Suns.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. I forgot about Phoenix.
And then number 3 is Golden State.
And then
who do you got at 4?
yeah, Lakers.
No.
I wouldn't put the Mavs yet. I'd probably put the Mavs at like 5. Did they put the Mavs at 4? Or they put Memphis at 4?
Sacramento's
City.
at 4. Sacramento.
Okay, that's understandable.
And then 5
Yeah,
is
and then I think like
Lakers.
6, 7, 8. Yeah, that sounds good.
So you got who you got at 6?
Who do you have left? I mean, you could have the Mavs, you could have Memphis, you could have Minnesota, Oklahoma City. I'd probably say Memphis over the Mavs. I don't think they're high on the Mavs. They probably have the Mavs at like 8 or 9, something stupid like that.
So it goes Thunder at 7, and then the Clippers at 6.
Okay, yeah, that's understandable.
Clippers at 6.
Okay, sure.
8 is Memphis.
Okay.
9 is the Dallas Mavericks.
Below that?
9 is at Dallas Mavericks.
That's crazy.
And then the Minnesota
Who's
Timberwolves
10?
at
Minnesota?
10. Mm-hmm.
Damn. That's crazy. Yeah, I would have never guessed. I kind of forget about all the teams that are in the West and all the depth that they have. The West is a deep conference, but I think the Mavs end up realistically at like a 4 seed. I think best case a 3 seed. I don't think we go any higher than that.
My God, I think our best case is probably like a 5, and I think our worst is like a 9.
Yeah, I think so too. I could see
I'm
us
being
very well
honest.
being in the play-in again.
Yeah, for
Hopefully
center.
Hopefully
Again, we didn't even make it to the play-in last time. This guy said
fair.
playing again. No,
That's
it
fair.
was not playing, bro. We
No,
went
we
home.
weren't even there. Yeah, we were playing to miss it. We were playing to miss it.
Yeah, so that was ESPN, and to be honest, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad. I think 9 is.
I think it's fair.
It's fair.
Sure,
Sadly,
that's fair.
we have no center yet.
Understandable.
So, yeah, I'm so excited, bro. Mavericks, yay, and Rangers, yay.
Come on, we're gonna capture. Luke,
Let's get some
Luca and
positives.
Kai.
Let's get some positives, bro. Talk to me
Yeah,
about FC
well,
Dallas, bro.
positive.
You're at
FC
this game.
Dallas. FC
Let's
Dallas
go. Come
positive.
on.
Yeah, I was
And
at
on
the
a high
game.
note.
1-0 win. I was there. It was extremely hot, and honestly, the first half was like super boring. I was like sitting there at halftime, and I was like, "What are we doing?" Good news is we were in the all-you-can-eat seats. So before
Oh
the game even
yeah.
started,
I
we
know you
polished
fucked
off
that
four
shit up.
glizzies. Yeah,
There you
four glizzies
go.
before the game even started. Had a couple pretzels, couple tecates. We were rolling, bro.
Mm.
And then yeah, probably about the 55th minute or so, game kind of started picking up then, and FC Dallas was kind of pretty much on the front foot. With literally probably the last kick of the game off of like just a random ball into the mixer. Nkosi Tafari
Yeah.
had a nice little headed goal to the back post right in front of us, which was sick. Cracked my phone screen because I dropped it while I was celebrating. So it was pretty. It was just a screen protector. It's just a
I was
screen
about to
protector. So
ask
we're
you how
good.
crazy did you go? I
Yeah, just
wanted
a
like, cause
screen
I know you
protector.
get passionate, so I was like, I wonder how
Yeah,
crazy
I
this
just
man
like
went. So I
dropped.
guess to
Yeah,
breaking his screen.
yeah. So dropped the phone, was just sick. Yeah, nice little win. Makes the whole trip worth it. It was hot, very, very warm. No breeze. After the game, they had a pretty sweet little drone show with
Oh yeah.
like Star Wars, which I'm not a Star Wars fan, but that was the first time I ever really saw a drone show, and I was pretty impressed. So if you see a drone show, I would highly recommend going to see it. They play like a little video and stuff like that like goes with it, so it's pretty like ooh and we got a lightsaber, which was pretty neat. So
Hey, okay.
yeah, man, that
Yeah, no,
was
FC Dallas
the
always
FC
has those drone
Dallas.
shows, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, so
I never
it was a
stayed
good
for one.
experience. So
But
yeah, I mean, we were there and we were like, might as well just stay and kind of see what it's about. And we got out of there right as it was ending, so we kind of missed some of that traffic, which was crucial.
oh
It's
yeah.
a super long drive back. But
Oh yeah, freaking
yeah, man,
Frisco.
that's about all we got today. I mean, do you have any final thoughts? Any final takeaways? You want to jinx something really quick while you're at it?
Let's go good. I've been down on the Rangers, but let's say I think the Rangers win both series and win the Monday game that we go to.
I like that. I think it's a good shout. It's a good shout.
Yeah. If anything, it's
That's
Jinx of
just
the
me.
week, baby.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. Well, that's pretty much all we got. Thank you guys so much for rocking with us. This is another episode of Austin Oli. We're gonna keep bringing content. Go look at our TikTok page. We've been posting, a couple of TikToks here and there. We're getting better at the content and kind of getting and pushing that stuff out. So, yeah, go follow us on Instagram. Go follow us on Twitter. All that stuff. But until next time, we'll see you guys. Thank you so much. It's been another episode of Austin and Oli. See you guys next time. Peace.